Welcome to Channel 97 News. I'm Josh Hansen.
And I'm Martin Ramstone. This week, Congressman Ron Klein from the 3rd Congressional District stopped to talk at the middle school, as well as Mr. Ricken's 21st Century World class. For the story, here's Chuck Cook.
Congressman Ron Klein came and spoke to Mr. Ricken's 21st Century World class, as well as hosted a listening session at the middle school. This is not an unusual event for Congressman Klein, as he visits schools often and says it's the funnest part of his job.
Well, I try to visit schools as frequently as possible. I am a big believer that education is the great equalizer in our society, and obviously as a member of Congress representing this area with some really quality schools, it's important for me to understand what's going on in the schools, what type of help and resources they need to be successful so that the students can be successful in the classroom. And that's going to be important for our nation's future so that we can remain competitive with the rest of the world. And to me that starts with a good education. It's also the most fun I have with the job too, getting into the schools and meeting and talking with the students.
Congressman Klein says that every time he comes to Black River Falls, he is very impressed with the teachers and the students.
I've been so impressed with the Black River Falls School District, the dedication of the leadership, to the teachers, the parental involvement, but also the performance of the students. I mean, when I come in to visit, I see students who do take their studies seriously. I think they do appreciate the quality of the facilities and certainly the quality of the teaching that they're exposed to in the classroom. And I've known Mr. Ricken for many, many years, and I've been so impressed with his creativity in the classroom and how he can make the subject matters really relevant and come to life for the students. And that is a unique talent, but it's also the key to a good education system, knowing that we've got hardworking, dedicated teachers that are trying to think out of the box, trying to be creative in the classroom, trying to make education interesting for the students. And we need more of that right now in the teaching profession.
Social studies teacher Paul Ricken says that Congressman Klein coming to Black River is not unusual.
Yeah, we've been lucky this year because he's been here twice. I think in the time he's been in office, he first ran in '96, and I'm sure we've had him here more than 20 times, probably 25 times. He's been very good about coming.
Ricken says that Congressman Klein comes in to talk about a variety of subjects in a variety of classes.
It depends on the class. Yesterday I had him in my 21st Century World, and so we sort of tailored it to foreign policy issues. And we don't normally have a lot of lead time. What I do is I have a kind of a standing invitation to him anytime he's in Black River. If he wants to stop by the school and he has time, he usually has, not more than 20, 25 minutes. But we try to tailor it to the class he's in. Normally he comes into my American politics, but yesterday I had him in the 21st Century, which is a little different.
Ricken has known Congressman Klein for a long time, including before he was elected into office.
One of the things that's kind of interesting about that, before he ran for the House, and he came and actually I met him for the first time in 1995, and I think he was just meeting with various people throughout the area, and he came up to the school and we talked a little bit, and I think that's kind of where it started. We've had a good tradition here, though, of other elected officials coming. He's not the only one. And I want to say one quick thing. We're careful about it because the idea isn't to bring in a Democrat or a Republican and promote that agenda. We're pretty careful about that, and we have to be really conscious of that in election years.
Congressman Klein says he really enjoys coming here and looks forward to it.
No, it's just great to be at BRF, great to be at school. I'm looking forward to having a conversation with the students today, and I'll try to get back here as soon as I can.
I think it's really important for our leaders to be accessible to the public, especially in Wisconsin's political climate.
Communication is key, that's for sure.
The Tiger baseball team had a busy week as they played 3 games. On Monday, they took on Regis and rambled the Ramblers 17-7. Back in action the next day, they took on Menominee and fell late in the game by a score of 11-9. With the 3rd home game of the week, they welcomed Viroqua on Thursday and dropped to the Blackhawks 4-9. Over to tennis now. The men kicked off the season with a doubleheader against Viroqua and Assumption. The Tigers lost to Viroqua and had to postpone their match against Assumption due to darkness. The men were back in action Thursday against the Durand, where the men swept the Panthers with wins by Rip, Herman, Bew, and Gerzik at singles, and the Oaks twins, Bailey and Beam, and Gerseth and Lynn at doubles.
St. Aaron.
What?
Do you like Mr. Wrobel's Tricky Tuesdays?
Oh, I love Tricky Tuesdays and Magic Mondays
And
Wizard
Wizard
Wednesdays
Wednesdays
and
and
Thrilling
Freaky Friday.
Thursdays. Oh, yeah, I love it all.
Wow. Oh, well, with the story, here's Martin Brownstone.
When you walk the hallways of the school, you might see Mr. Wrobel, a familiar face here in the high school. He's been teaching here for many years now, and many students said they'll remember him by the way he teaches his students.
I think he's actually an excellent teacher. I think he might be one of the best in the school, just because he has his own unique way of teaching, and he does that by going through each individual lesson and showing you how to do them.
Nelson Eden, a junior here at the Black River Falls High School, says that Mr. Wrobel, when he teaches, is very energetic about it.
One of his best traits, just his energeticness, you know. He just does it with enthusiasm, you know. He's always excited, and I think that's, you know, something that maybe helps him, you know. He gets people's attention, you know, gets them excited and whatnot, and I think that's one of his good traits he's got.
Mr. Berger, a teacher here at the Black River Falls High School, says that fellow teacher Mr. Wrobel is very caring when it comes to teaching.
I think Mr. Wrobel's an excellent teacher. One of my favorite things about Mr. Wrobel is that he is so caring. I think if you asked any of the students that he had, they would tell you that he's always willing to take extra time to work with his students, that, you know, he genuinely likes to teach and he likes kids. I think there's a lot of other good traits. You know, I think he's very passionate about what he does. I think he's hardworking. I would say all those make him a very good teacher.
Even after 20 plus years, Mr. Wrobel says he still loves teaching and interacting with students.
Absolutely. You know, my favorite part of teaching, I mean, and teaching's an interesting vocation in that it has a lot of things that people don't think of as part of the job, like you know, watching students in the halls and doing paperwork. That includes like data collection and things like that. And I think that most of the time people think of teaching as the part just that's in the classroom, but there's a lot of outside parts to teaching. The part that's inside the classroom is the most exciting part for me, and the part that I find the most rewarding and fulfilling.
All right.
All right.
So remember, guys, next time you see Mr. Wrobel in the hallway, give him a thumbs up or give him a high five.
Sydney! Your right hand needs to be over your left arm, otherwise we won't have a good take.
You must be pretty superstitious.
Just like a lot of other kids in our school. For the story, we go Sam Rip.
Just like Stevie Wonder sang it, a lot of athletes are superstitious. Even the athletes at BRF have some strange traditions and rituals they do before each competition.
Yeah, I do. I run into the same side of the dugout. If we're doing well each inning, I'll go to the same side, and if we're doing bad, I'll go to the other side. And if we win a game, I'll wear the same sports bra and same sliding shorts, but I'll wash them, you know.
I have a nail that says Isaiah 53 verse 5 on it that I tape to my chest before every race, because you're allowed, according to Cooler Conference rules, to have a religious medal of some sort taped to your body somewhere underneath your uniform. So I tape that to my chest before every race.
I usually eat oatmeal squares, which is a brand of cereal found at Walmart before the games. Kind of a weird little thing I do. And I like to have a brand new set of shiny batting gloves. It's kind of a psyche thing.
Let me think. In high school, I put socks or cough drops in my socks. When the football team went to state, I used the same writing utensil for all the playoff games. For softball, I'm very particular about positioning if we're ahead, where people are standing in the dugout. So yeah, I think they work otherwise.
Thanks, Sam, for that story. With Channel 97 News, I'm Josh Hansen.
And now Martin Brownstone. Stay cool, Black River Falls.
Good.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah,